I love this comment from Hugh Freeze.
In the world full of podcasts, he's the undisputed heavyweight champion of hot takes, an Auburn sports homer, master of the book, and message board legend. Get your buttons buttoned and your hats flattened because the Top Button Podcast is about to kick off, and you don't want to miss your courtside seat. Now, here's your host, Charlie Five.
Yes, sir. We're back. It's another episode of the Top Button Podcast. I'm your host, Kyle Rush, a.k.a. Charlie Five, and we are ready to get after a happy dadgum Monday. Still on the road. Usually Mondays in the season, you're going to have me and Reese Dismukes breaking down the game. Because I'm on the road, the show's going to be tomorrow. So make sure you tune in. We're going to get a take from Reese Dismukes, an offensive lineman, on that offensive display we saw on Saturday. But Hugh had an awesome answer to a question that almost looked like he was waiting on it. And the relief on his face and the happiness, I love the comment. We're going to break that down. Some tough running that we're going to talk about. And then even after the big win on the road, Hugh still finds areas that Auburn needs to improve. Said there were areas where Auburn looked sluggish. We're going to break down that as well. We're going to get into all that in just a second. But before we do that, let's give a quick shout out to Roback.com. Use coupon code BARN20 to take 20% off your order. Polos, hoodies, pullovers, pants, shorts, joggers, no matter what you want, they got it. You want Auburn's licensed apparel, they have that as well. So get your game day stuff ready as well, and you can save big. It's only one coupon code used per email, so just, hey, make another email if you've already used it. Check them out. It's Roback.com. Look, I know that you can say that you're able to predict the way a kid will react. You can say whatever you want to, but you have to believe that it's a huge relief when you actually see it on the field, because you can think all the things you want. You can believe all the things you want until you actually see it. It's hard to know for sure. So you feel confident. You have the confidence that Jackson's legs are what they are. But until you actually see it on the field, there's got to be a little bit of doubt in your head. There's got to be a little bit of, boy, I hope I'm right here. So Hugh was asked a question. And it almost looked like in the post-game press conference, it almost looked like he was waiting for it because he smiled before the question was even asked or finished. So I'm going to play it, and then we're going to discuss.
Yeah. Kind of get a sense that this is some of what he was capable of. Yeah, I knew. I really did. I just, we don't let him do it in practice, but I've seen enough tape. And then he really flashed in the mock game a little bit where we actually started, calling a few things for him. So I knew he was very capable, and it showed up tonight in big ways.
I love that for him, man. I love that for Hugh. You could see the happiness. You could see even the relief, I think, on his face a little bit. They took a gamble on Jackson. Didn't get the greatest press. Hey, you go into your next season where your quote-unquote job is on the line, and Jackson didn't have the greatest, I guess, resume up to this point in time as the guy you're going to ride with. And then you hear all these different reports throughout fall camp about him holding on to the ball too long, or taking a lot of sacks, or never really heard him turning the ball over, which is great. He's kind of carried that over because there was obviously no turnovers on Saturday. But he was always very confident, always very solid that Jackson was the guy. Jackson's the guy. We're going to get whatever it is fixed. And Hugh made a comment on, I believe it was after the second or the third scrimmage, when it was another one of those reports that the offense just looked terrible. The offense struggled in the scrimmages. He said, look, they're blowing a lot of plays dead that I think they probably blow them dead a little too quick, but they're blowing a lot of plays dead that I think Jackson could make something happen with his legs. And as a fan, that's kind of what you had to hang on to hope of, that maybe that's the case. Maybe that they weren't allowing them to play a little bit longer. And that's what's kind of bogging down the offense, taking Jackson's legs away from him in those practice settings. Fast forward to the game, and you could see very, very early exactly what Hugh saw in Jackson Arnold. You saw flashes of it last year, but to see it actually happen in this game in the dominant fashion that it happened, in the speed that Jackson has, in my opinion, was probably the most impressive. I expected a lot more like hard, tough running, which he gave, but he's a home run threat. He has the ability to house it from long distances. I mean, that last touchdown, I know he broke the line, and it was a 4th and short. He broke the line quickly, and there was no defender deep for him to navigate. But the way he exploded through the line and he was gone, I mean, and then the first touchdown run, he ran past some DBs. Jackson's legs are clearly going to be a big part of this offense. It takes this offense to other levels. It opens up the playbook so much, so much. So I'm just happy. I was happy in that clip. If you're watching it, you'll understand what I'm talking about. He was asked, again, y'all been blowing it dead. And as soon as I believe it was Nathan King from 247 asked him, you talked about how y'all blew plays dead a lot before Jackson could really get going. And honestly, before he could barely get that out, you could see the smile on Hugh's face. Like he almost knew exactly what he was about to be asked. Good for him, man. Good for him to get that relief. I'm sure it's been stressful thinking about it leading up to this game, and then to see it play out the way it did. Great stuff. I want to talk about some tough running because there were some narratives. There was some, and some of it was for me. Like, it just is what it is. There's some narratives that I think, I don't want to say are all the way squashed, but we got some tough running backs, man. We're going to talk about that. We'll be back right after this. The 3 quarterbacks thing was a narrative for that short period of time. And one part of it was that maybe Ashton Daniels would be utilized in short yardage situations because Auburn just doesn't have that running back that can move the chains. Auburn doesn't have that short yardage guy. Auburn doesn't have that guy that you can just turn around and lean on, that he can go get you those tough yards. What did you see Saturday? Time after time after time, you saw no Ashton Daniels. You saw Damari Alston putting his head down, picking up tough yardages, picking up tough yards. You saw Jeremiah Cobb on the goal line. When we got to run it, they know we got to run it. There's nothing you can do but run it. And they get the push, and he punches it in. And Jeremiah Cobb is not looked at as a power back. He's your home run guy. I saw a lot from these guys, man, that gave me the confidence that there's a lot to build on here. Tough yards after tough yards after tough yards. It wasn't just like they're running free. That touchdown run that Damari had, he absorbed a ton of contact there. And he has the neck roll on too. Somebody laughed. We talked about it in the live stream. I was like, man, it's this 1985 neck roll, man, is just rocking. I love it. Remember Cam Petway? Cam Petway had like the cowboy collar. He had like the big extended collar behind his head. Damari said, if I'm going to be the power back, man, I got to be the power back. And something about when you put that neck roll on, it makes you stronger. It's like a superpower or something. But no, that's an aspect of the game that everybody was worried about. Now, Baylor doesn't have the toughest defense that we'll face. Okay. So it's not like that's just what's going to happen all year. Like, there are things they got to improve. There's things they got to get better at, and they're going to face tougher challenges that you will maybe not just able to line up and blow them off the ball as consistently as Auburn did on Saturday. But man, to at least that gives you something that you can build on. It's not we got to scrap everything and start over again. Okay, we got something here. We don't have to go and manufacture things with packages and substitutions and things like that. You can just line up and run it. And I think that's the biggest thing. That's one of the biggest things that I was relieved about, that I was excited about from Saturday, because running back was always a question mark for me. Like, even leading up into the game, there was a scrimmage, one of the first scrimmages where Auburn struggled on offense. There was a ton of negativity around the running backs, even from some pretty high up Auburn folks, a little bit concerned about the running backs. Both of them averaged, I think, over 5 yards a carry. Yeah. Well, Jeremiah was just shy of 5. Damari was a little bit over 5 yards a carry. Both of them got a touchdown. And the thing is, it wasn't like their yardage was like mostly ripped off of like 1 or 2 runs. Like, Damari's longest run was 11 yards. Jeremiah's longest run was 9. So it was essentially what their average was about how far they went every time they touched the ball. And that's what you need out of your running backs. Hey, go get me 4 yards. Go get me 5 yards. If you got somebody like that you can trust to do that, holy cow. And the cool thing is we all know both of those guys could bust one at any point in time. The way Baylor was set up, though, they had more defenders in the back end to be able to limit those explosive runs. And that was honestly by accident, because they were really trying to just limit explosive pass plays, or maybe limit passing altogether. There's going to be teams that are going to adjust to this. So now it's going to be all about balance. Now it's going to be all about, maybe they're not going to try to dare us to run. They're just going to try to mix it up and make it harder to know which way to go. Regardless, you got something good you can build off. You got something that you can maybe even lean on at times. Then you factor in Jackson Arnold and his running that we just talked about. It's just that much more potent of a running attack. And guys, we haven't even scratched the surface on the wide receivers. I expect to see them a lot against Ball State. Even in a win, you got to find areas that you can improve. You can't just be complacent. And even Hugh Freeze picked out some things that he thought Auburn could be better at. He said he thought that Auburn looked a little sluggish. I know that we can play better than we did tonight. I know we weren't as fast as I've seen us be tonight, and I'll take a hard look at that. He didn't specifically say which side of the ball. I think we can all probably say we're pointing to the defense there a little bit, which is great, because the defense carried you last year. So now your offense picked up your defense, and still they only allowed 24 points. They bent, but they did not break. So that's obviously good to see. You can point to the defense to pick it up, work on, not thinking you've already arrived. I'm sure, hey, I'm a little bit confident, maybe overconfident, because we've been dominant in all these scrimmages. Everybody's been patting the defense on the back. The defense is it. The defense has arrived. It's good to have a little bit of a reality check, or good to have a little bit of a gut check to say, hey, you better tighten up. Yeah, y'all got through it, but this is not going to be one of the tougher teams you face all year. Got some teaching moments. Just a lot of good stuff, man. A lot of good stuff from the game. I can't wait to hear what Reese has to say. I want to know, man, as an offensive lineman, at what point in the game do you know we got him? We got him. Let's just pin our ears back. We got him. We know we can run it pretty much at will. I know that's got to be fun as an offensive lineman. Connor Lew was getting to the second level almost every single play, dominating linebackers. I know that's got to be fun to see. So can't wait to hear from Reese. I'm going to be back home today, a little bit of a family vacation, going to see some folks and recording on location. So thanks for bearing with me. I'm feeling a lot better. It was a great weekend, and I can't wait to hear what Hugh has to say to the media today, and then everything leading up to the game this weekend. So, guys, I really appreciate it. Thanks for listening. It's another episode of the Top Button Podcast. Stay buttoned.
Thanks for listening, and drive home safely.